Hi everyone, so we are going to learn how to subtract polynomials. This is a little bit different than adding, so make sure you're paying close attention. To review, what is -1 times a positive 4? A negative number times a positive number gives us a negative number, in this case -4. A -1 times a -4, a negative times a negative is a positive 4. To review, a negative times a positive is a negative number. A negative times a negative is a positive number. If the signs are different, when you multiply them together, you get a negative. If the signs are the same, when you multiply them together, you get a positive. These are the same two polynomials that we saw in last video, except notice we are subtracting instead of adding. There is a 1 here that we can't really see. It's kind of like the coefficient of an x. We know there's a 1 in front. When we do our rewrite this time, we are going to be subtracting this entire piece. Not just the 4x, but the entire polynomial, 4x minus 7y. So when we rewrite, we have 2x plus 3y, but this time we have to subtract both the 4x and the negative 7y. So if we subtract the 4x, a negative 1 times a positive 4x gives us a negative 4x. We have to be fair, so we have to distribute the negative 1 to the negative 7y as well. Negative 1 times a negative 7y will give us that positive 7y. Once again, we distributed the negative 1 to both the 4x and the negative 7y. A negative times a positive gave us a negative, and a negative times a negative gave us a positive. Now we are, just like the first video, combining like terms. I notice that I have a 2x and a negative 4x. 2 of something minus 4 of something will give us that negative 2 of something that we'll see later. 3y and 7y we can add together as well. 2x minus 4x is negative 2x, and 3y plus 7y is a positive 10y. Notice this answer is different than in the video about adding polynomials. Negative 2x plus 10y. In this example, we have the same two polynomials from the previous video, but we are subtracting. There's that 1 there again, and we're going to distribute the negative 1 to both terms. We are going to subtract this whole piece. When we do our rewrite, we have x squared minus 6x plus 3. Now we're going to have to distribute that negative 1 to both terms. Negative 1 times a positive 7x squared is a negative 7x squared. Negative 1 times positive 7x squared is negative 7x squared. Negative 1 times negative 8x is a positive 8x. Negative times a positive is a negative. Negative times a negative is a positive. Now we are ready from the first video to combine like terms. I have x squareds that look alike. I also have x's that look alike. And I have a constant number 3 that is by itself, and that's okay. 1x squared minus 7x squared is negative 6x squared. Negative 6x plus 8x is 2x. And lastly, the plus 3 is by itself, so our final answer is negative 6x squared plus 2x plus 3. Subtraction can be a little difficult. The only piece you have to remember is for your rewrite, you need to distribute that negative 1 to all of the terms in that second polynomial.